Hello, everyone. Oh, hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting really terrible feedback on my end, but if you can't hear it, then it's just a problem with me.
Did it go away?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It
All
was
right.
supposed to be the
Oh my goodness, I thought it was me.
It was our sound effects.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
another attempt at sound that failed. So
Yeah.
Horrible.
there we go.
All right. I apologize, everyone. Happy Sunday, everybody. I am your host, Araceli. I'm filling in for our fabulous Tony Moore, who is absent today, as you can see, but he will be back next week. Not to worry. I unfortunately will be switching roles at that point. I will not be here. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to Dishin Days. And how did everybody like this week?
Pretty good. It was a
Yeah.
okay week. It wasn't, monumental, but we got some movement. We got some movement in storyline. So pretty good, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked it. We didn't get, not a ton of stuff happened, but I liked what we saw. The movie stuff was definitely like the highlight for me this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was something. I'll have less to say later. So before we get started, I want to remind everyone to follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. And when you can find us not here, you can find us on all other social media platforms. You can find us on Apple TV. You can find us on iHeartRadio. Find us, stalk us wherever you want. We're available in most places. And not to be missed, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on Facebook Live as well. And also buy our merch. We are dishindays.threadless.com. I don't know where you might be using a beach towel, if the beach towels are still available, but I'm sure it's beachy weather somewhere. It's kind of like
you can use a beach towel any time of year.
Yeah,
up and down.
Towel.
This is true. Yes, this is true. Most beach towels you can use as bath towels. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. And without further ado, let's get into it. It's time to start
Dishin
Days. Hey, we did good that time.
Better. We just need to do a recording and hit play. Well, maybe not now since our sound, but sometime in the future, we'll just have a recording of it.
Ah, fantastic. Ooh. Sorry, failed.
Was it Dylan Matthews said it's a Mar-Devil trying to creep into our show?
Don't even say
trying to creep into our show. At least he's not speaking through an Echo or an Amazon device or something.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh, I'll have to. All right. And without further ado, let's get into that particular storyline. So we'll be starting with the devil and his influence over Marlena, John, Ben, Sierra, Julie, with a peripheral invitation of Roman. Yeah. Roman was there. I would like to see more of Roman involved, but this is primarily John's shtick. So let's start with the devil's. I want to get into the devil's methods a little bit. We kind of guessed correctly last week the devil's purpose, and the Rosemary's Baby on the TV was not subtle.
Yeah.
Right.
But it seems like the devil has expanded his communication methods beyond the little voice recorder. It kind of seems like he's in Marlena's head.
Basically.
Yeah, anything with the speaker. Yeah. The phone, the little Bitmoji thing was
that one. Like, I didn't need that.
Yeah.
I did not need that. That kind of took me out of it. It was just silly. It was silly.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to take this seriously, like that kind of I was like, no. Don't do that again. Just have him speak through on a blank, like just have the screen be blank. It doesn't need to be some stupid, silly emoji that looks like some random dude from WeHo. It really doesn't. It was very cartoony. It diminished the seriousness of how we're supposed to be taking this. But that was my only beef, I guess, this week with that storyline.
Yeah, I must admit, it was sort of like, oh, what are they doing with the devil emoji? But it did take me out of it for a minute where I was like, oh, okay. I mean, they could have not done something scary, but even if they did like the quintessential, like we get on the recorder, like the wavy lines or something, or if it was like
Yeah,
something deep,
exactly.
I thought would have been cool. But yeah,
Or like just a
the
video
devil, I was like,
flyer.
the emoji pops up when the devil calls. Like he's into
Yeah.
emojis, like really.
No.
Yeah, I mean, 'tis the season for scaring the crap out of everyone, but that did not do it. That was the
Mhm.
exact opposite. I mean, Hocus Pocus was scarier than that.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
I've
Yeah.
only seen Hocus Pocus one time.
Oh, really?
I know, that's like a notch off my gay card.
Yeah.
It's like an iconic, and I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm not a
God.
very big Halloween person, so you know.
I mean, neither am I, but my God, Bette Midler herself would be horrified.
Have you been to the house? Side note, have you guys been to the house in Beverly
No.
Hills?
No.
Oh, you got to see it. It's really cool just to like drive. And the owners kept it the same. It's the outside, of course, the exterior
No.
shots. But yeah,
I
it's
went
really
to
cool.
a few weeks ago, I went to the Freeform Halloween Road, and it was kind of cute where they like recreated certain aspects of it. And I realized that the Heritage House, I don't know if it was built for it or if they just made it just was coincidence that the Heritage House there. The way it is, it looks exactly like the top of the house, the house in the scene where the witches fly out
Okay.
and they like completely destroyed the top of the house.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I was like, that looks vaguely familiar.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But so we called it correctly that it was basically this is going to be a Rosemary's Baby storyline. Do we think we're actually going to see Sierra get pregnant?
Or wait, what's going on?
I have noise, sorry.
Oh. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Bimby!
An ambulance drove by and Bimby howled
Okay.
after it. And so that's why I was trying to wait for it to go by until all the noise. But I'm hoping, but back to the storyline, I'm hoping we get a I don't like when they have all of these things set up and then what we're expecting or what they're kind of setting up doesn't happen. So I'm hoping that Sierra does get pregnant. Maybe not immediately, but you know, soon. Because we don't want it to drag out for months and months. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to see this come to fruition a little more before it drops. So yeah, I would like to see Sierra get pregnant and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might see a pregnancy, but I think the devil sort of part of it will be resolved before we get deep into a pregnancy, I think. So like I don't think I don't think the devil is going to actually like impart on the baby or sort of that the storyline is really going to cross in. I think they're setting it up that way, but something tells me that part of the storyline will be over before, you know, they get deep into a pregnancy for Ben and Sierra. I'm
just thinking only like the devil's influence could impregnate Sierra that fast. You don't get pregnant a day after you throw out your birth control. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
I was laughing hard about. I was like, really? She like threw it away. So like presumably she may have even taken that day's pill. And she's like, threw it away at like 6 p.m. and is like, we can make a baby tonight. It's like, I don't think you can.
Yeah, it takes time to.
It takes at least a few days.
Yeah.
Not to get technical, but it can happen, but not like the night
they did kind of explain that it's rare. It's not it's not highly likely, but you know, they tried anyway. Why not?
I did love it.
And, you know, we all know Sierra's the horny one in that relationship.
Yes.
So she was going to do everything she could.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I also love how only now that they're trying for a baby that Sierra is like, maybe I should get a job.
I know. I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
Now you're going to be pregnant with a job.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah. It's like the whole maternity leave and paternity. I'll advocate also paternity leave. Paternity leave was a hot topic this week.
Yes.
That I was like, you guys are not thinking anything through there. You're just thinking, oh, baby, cute.
Yeah, I'm the one thing I am excited about is I don't know if we're gonna get, who knows how this baby thing's gonna work out, but are we now introducing Sierra fully with Philip now? Like, are we gonna get those scenes, and is she gonna be included in the Ava, Gabby, Jake kind of stuff? That's what kind of interests me. Just 'cause I'm like, okay, they had her specifically go to Victor, which, by the way, why Victor still hates Ben? Like, we haven't progressed in that a little bit of like,
Did
Well, it's Victor.
saved her
I mean, that
life
is
and
kind
like
of
brought her back. Like,
Did Sierra actually tell her grandpa that she was trying for a baby, though?
I don't think.
I mean,
Yeah, we didn't see the
didn't see
conversation.
it, so
I don't think
we
he
don't
probably
know
told
what.
her
Yeah,
that.
I was just wondering if she mentioned it, because if she didn't mention it, then of course he would give her a job right away, because that's separate from
Yeah.
it. But he does, if he doesn't know that her basically only motivation right now for getting back to work is because she's trying for a baby, I don't think he would have gone for that.
Yeah.
Good point.
But yeah, I would like to see Sierra sort of mixed up in that. I liked her. I liked her when she did was at Titan the last time. I felt like they didn't delve deep enough into it. We got a few scenes here and there. I think Brady was running Titan at that time, so we got to with them together. But
we did not get a lot of businesswoman, straight hair businesswoman.
Exactly.
Sierra.
Yeah. So I'd like to see that aspect of her, as opposed to like I think we've firmly established she's like the tough chick, the daughter of Bo and Hope. Like, we've got enough of that. I'd like to see like them expand her character a little bit more. So
yeah. And we finally saw Levitation 2.0.
So
Yes.
I thought that her levitating meant that the devil that was like the signal that the devil had fully taken her over.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because it got interrupted. Because John kind of, interrupted the it.
Yeah.
So because I was expecting like, oh, after she levitates, that's when the devil's gonna have control again, and she's gonna have the eyes, and she's gonna talk like. But then she didn't, and I was kind of confused. So the only plausible explanation I can have for that is that John interrupted, and the devil didn't have a chance to take over.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way of thinking of it. Yeah.
Because that's what before, that was the indication that she had gotten taken over. She levitated, she went back down, she had the eyes.
Oh yeah.
And then we kind of knew like, oh, shit went down.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen this time. She had she remembered it almost. She had a nightmare about it, that she was levitating, but she hadn't been. But the devil was still speaking to her through the various electronic devices that she has, and hasn't taken her over yet.
Yeah, I like the way they're going with this too, where she like it's slightly a little bit of like memory loss too, where like if she's sort of in a daze or something, like when she talks to him, she's sort of been a bit of a daze, so sometimes she doesn't remember, or other times it's like if he's speaking directly to her, like about the Ben situation, then it's like a blackmail influence thing. So I'm kind of liking that. First, I thought like, oh, how are they going to do this? Is she, because in the original, when she was taken over, like we just had the devil pretending to be Marlena in those relationships with people causing trouble. But now, like we said, we're getting it where she's fighting him, but she's also there's a part of her that still isn't fully conscious of it at all times. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I like that she already put it in John's head though. Because John will be the one to catch on. John is the one, he remembers all the signs, he knows what's happening. And I'm really glad that he and Roman are on the same page with this. It's just, again, it goes to the fact that there are so few people in Salem who were just there at the forefront of that storyline, and there's not as many people that are left in Salem from that time. Johnny brought up that Celeste was heavily involved. Kristen was at the forefront of that. So it kind of, I think we need more of those people back. And really let's delve into the history of that because then things are going to start picking up and people are going to start actually noticing things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved Roman in this, and it was very true to character of once John sort of explained what was going on, him backing out of Johnny's movie. Like that was very Roman to do, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Did the devil kidnap
Mm-mm.
Tony Moore?
No, alive and well.
I
He'll
don't
be
know.
back next week.
We'll see. We'll see. You'll see next week. You'll see
Yeah.
next week.
The devil went to Mickey.
Yeah. And so let's pivot a little bit because the devil obsession delves into the story of
Mhm.
what is the title of Johnny's movie, Possessed? The
Oh, the
Marlena
Marlena
Evans
Evans
story.
The Marlena
yeah.
Evans story.
Uh,
It's
Which is
very
very
Lifetime.
Lifetime, yes.
it is very Lifetime. It
Starring
is
Meredith
very
Baxter-Burns.
Lifetime. Okay.
I'm just gonna say.
Or rather, Abigail Devereaux.
Oh God. Oh my
And
gosh.
everyone
Okay.
else. All of these non-actors are acting in
Yes,
this.
I know. Like,
independent
do you have any
movie.
actors who are any actors?
This is
Oh,
why
God.
I'm like, all of this setup, and I said this last week, I will be disappointed if we did not get some kind of movie out of this.
Yeah.
Like all of this
Mhm.
setup or all of this, and we don't actually see anything.
This
That'll
is
be a
ever
letdown
since
for me.
they started
I don't know
this.
how they'll do it,
It's making me think of the Abigail, Jennifer, Gwen one where they played their mothers. Essentially,
Yeah.
that keeps popping into my head, and
But
that's why
that worked out. But that worked out so well. That's the thing.
that's
And it
what I
was
mean.
only for an episode. It
Yeah.
worked out so well just because it was that. This, I feel like they're purposely torpedoing.
Well, I hope we get some of it, at least like a few scenes. Like, I want to see at least like these. It excites me to think to see these characters dressed up as the characters. So,
but
I
I agree with what Freeman Griffin just said. I don't want to see a possession storyline because like we just said, it is so Lifetime. It's just so like the Sammy Brady story had so much more meat to it. It felt like we would literally be in the eye of the storm and just like boom boom boom, this happened and this happened and this happened. It's like it, because the way it would be structured would be just so entertaining, and this is just like like I'm just like from every angle I see nothing but problems.
So what do you guys think of Chanel as Celeste? It's funny when he said that, I immediately thought Lexi. I didn't even.
I know.
I
was like, oh, I thought you could play Celeste. I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh, Celeste. Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
I love how Chanel just threw it in his face. Is it because I'm the only black girl you could?
I know when he said it. Yes. I think
he was like, no.
Kind of, yeah, right. He was kind of like, kind of. It still applies. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I could see Chanel playing Celeste more than I could see her playing Lexi.
Yeah.
There's something about her.
Once it hit,
yeah.
I have to say, I was laughing on her logic where she was like, you want me to play Theo's grandmother or mother? And I was like, okay, you're dating Theo's cousin. Like, you've already crossed those lines.
Yeah, specifically she said his mama and his big mama. Because I'm just like, let's be real about why Johnny is choosing to cast her, because he can't find anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's not just Chanel. He's not even looking outside of family members for all of these other roles.
Nope.
It's like
he's just like, let me find the cheapest, most convenient people that I could find just for the sake of time.
I know. Bring back Celeste, who someone asked Jen George. Celeste actually is alive. We haven't seen her in a few years. She's in South Africa with Theo and Brandon and Cameron and everyone else who leaves Salem.
Yeah.
Who isn't in Chicago, is in South Africa. Yeah. But no, I'd love it if they bring Celeste back. And
I think it would be the perfect time
or something.
Yeah,
definitely, because she did play a big part in that storyline back in the day. She was the one that he was right. She was the one that sensed evil in Salem, and no one believed her because they all were like, oh, crazy Celeste, even though she's right all the time. She was right all the time for years, and every time she predicted something, they were like, that's Celeste, like she's right literally all the time.
Yeah, even her skeptics though didn't underestimate her.
I wouldn't mind though. This is the part where I wouldn't mind, like, not a retreat of it, but also like we said, like it was really sort of Celeste and Kristen who were kind of at the forefront of stuff going down. So I wouldn't mind seeing them back and sort of like either noticing things or sort of, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, and it's twofold. I mean, Johnny's movie has problems that are one, he's basically recreating a storyline that is already happening again without
Yeah,
his
right.
knowledge. And he, I mean, I kind of think John is taking it a little bit easy on him because the fact that I just think it's really in poor form. And I have this problem with a lot of producers. I think it's really in bad taste to make a movie about somebody's life without their consent.
Mm.
Right. That's what, and I had to think back when she was, when Allie was like, oh, if you get Grandma Marlena's permission. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wait a minute, it took this long for, he went
Yeah.
to everybody else.
I know,
And
yeah.
I was like, I thought maybe I missed something, but no, he hadn't actually gotten Marlena's, I was like, no, he hasn't.
And I think
that's
originally
insane.
because it was Sammy's story and they had already sort of
Mhm.
conquered that hill, it was like, oh, like whatever, it won't be an issue. But I think once it switched over to being about Marlena, it was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you actually need to like get this, cross this, sort of dot this I and cross this T here before we move forward. But
Yeah. It's in poor taste, and honestly, if you actually look at the history of biopics, I really feel the best biopics are the ones that not only have the consent of the person they're about and or the family members, but they really don't sugarcoat anything.
yeah,
Which is the thing is that Johnny is thinking, oh, this is a great story, is kind of thing. He's not. We haven't seen the script, obviously, but he has no concept of it, for the spirituality of it, for what it
yeah.
means, for the trauma of it. He just thinks it's a cool story.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. I mean, he didn't really like sit down with anyone. Like he rewrote the script overnight. So I'm curious what this script has in it. I mean, he had to get some stuff right because he got the sort of John and Marlena scenes.
Well, I mean, he knows that he knew the dialogue of that.
I know,
John
right?
and
I
Marlena
know.
scene, and he knew all of the players and who, like, he went through like Celeste and Kristen and Lexi. And,
Yeah.
like my Aunt Lexi took care of Marlena when she was in the hospital, and
Yeah.
Celeste was the first one to sense, and he knew all of this stuff just overnight.
I'm curious.
And
yeah.
that made me like, I have to kind of let that go.
Yeah.
I think because
Yeah.
it's not really plausible, but like, who did he talk to get all this information? How did he find all this out? It's
it
not
could have
just
been a quick like
carrot knowledge.
Did you talk to like Lucas, or like even if they threw in a line of like I had a conversation with Lucas about it, or you know what I mean, like something like
That's
that.
Like he had a
cleared up
conversation with
lot
a
of
character that was there,
Yeah.
not really maybe in it, but
Yeah,
was
but-
there when it
yeah.
happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Anyway.
so he's messing with stuff he doesn't understand in an industry and a business that he already doesn't understand. Because we can talk all about his passions, and I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he really, really doesn't understand the business of filmmaking based on what we saw this week. Because he doesn't understand that when you have to answer to investors, they get a say.
Mhm.
Unless it's specifically written in the contract that they don't, that you have creative control over a project. EJ has now put a stranglehold on every part of this movie by investing in it.
So now we fully like have settled into EJ going back to being the asshole, right? Like, I mean, this is
I mean, it's
like
yeah.
he's blackmail. Essentially, okay. So he's blackmailing his son, who he resents for not following him into the family business. He's blackmailing him to sort of get under Chad's skin. Now, do we think it's only Chad getting under Chad's skin, or do we think he's also like testing the waters with Abigail? Like,
I'm wondering that too.
or is it just?
I think
or is
it's
it
more.
just-
I do think it's mostly to stick it to Chad.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
he's
because
needling
Nicole's
him.
still in the picture. So I'm like,
Yeah,
do we want Nicole, or is he trying to like start?
he's
sticking up
trying
for
to
Abby
play
again?
the big man. He's trying to play the big man and try to teach everyone a lesson. That's the thing. He thinks that he's in the right. He's the big man. He doesn't see Chad as his equal.
Yeah.
At all. He thinks as his little brother. I'm going to teach little brother a lesson.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just.
I mean, that was sneaky. That was really underhanded. And
It
so
was.
he's
But
sort of,
that's
I mean, he
EJ.
kind of
That's like-
black.
but
Yeah,
that's-
no, it is.
Yeah.
And he sort of like put Johnny over a barrel, for lack of a better term. And yeah,
Right.
I mean,
And the underhanded way they got, and they got, Chad and Abigail to agree to it before they revealed that, EJ is going to be playing John Black.
It was
it was just very underhanded, and you could tell like Johnny wasn't fully okay with it, but of course he went along with it because he wanted funding to make the movie.
For a second there, I thought when they all signed the contracts, I thought Johnny was going to double cross EJ because EJ was going on and on about as long as you get them to sign a contract, you can do what you want. And then until EJ pulled out the John contract, and then he was like, I already signed it. I was like, oh damn. For a second I really thought Johnny was going to double cross EJ and be like, offer it to Chad in front of him, and then EJ would have been stuck if he signed the contract. Yeah.
I was pretty confident he was going to go along with EJ.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's going to go along with it.
Because he wants. This is the thing about Johnny that I'm realizing. He wants the easy way out. I didn't think that I really didn't know what to make of his character because we didn't get a lot of information when he came back about what his life was like when that during that time that Sammy moved the kids to Europe. You know, we got a lot of info about Allie and, you know, she was a partier and things like that, but we didn't really get a lot of information about Johnny and how he spent his time, what was his relationship like with his mother, what was his education like. Now I'm seeing he's very lazy because I think it was on Monday, he threw out a comment about how like crowdsourcing would take forever. It actually doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. You know, people throw in a little bit of money here, word of mouth spreads. It doesn't take as long as you think it does. And a lot of people will do stuff for credit, for catering. This is just some behind the scenes stuff for all the people. So this tells me he's lazy. He just wants to make his movie, get it done, and then move on. Kind of a thing. He has not considered the trauma. He's not hiring experienced actors. He's not care. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to get it done. He's like, I'm gonna do it, and you're not gonna stop me. I'm like,
I think we're seeing like he's more virtuous than EJ, of course, and it seems to be like has a stricter moral code, but he's still at the end of the day a rich kid who's sort of like has that stuff handed to him, whether it was from EJ when he was around or whether it was from Sammy to overcompensate, and we're still seeing that side of him that he's inexperienced. He's not going about things the right way. It's very like laser focused and by all means necessary. The one thing I did like though is that it is still Lucas is still in the picture. I like that even though EJ didn't try to like strong arm him out, which was interesting. So
but
I wonder
now
what other changes he'll try and inflict. Maybe.
Oh God, who knows? He's just every single part of this is wrong, from the trauma side, from the devil side, from the business standpoint. Everything about this movie, I really don't want to see this movie because everything about it to me screams laziness.
And now he's got exactly what he needs. He now has got Marlena's permission.
Not Marlena's.
Or the devil,
Okay, so was it... See, I'm still confused. Was it the devil or was it Marlena? Like, he hasn't taken over her yet.
So I think he's say getting close.
It was the devil saying yes? No, I don't think it was. I think it was Marlena saying yes out of
Marlena
fear
would never say yes to that.
Confusion. But he wasn't. It wasn't the devil.
Like
the devil yet.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like there wasn't a scene of like her stopping and then the devil coming in and like making her do it. So like
the devil hasn't taken over her yet.
I think
so when he said yes, it wasn't the devil. It was Marlena. But why was Marlena saying yes?
But in the previous scene, right before that, she, or at least her coming out of her voice was encouraging Ben to continue to try for a baby. Marlena wouldn't do that because Marlena went over there with the intention to talk to Ben to stop him because she was worried about him. And then there was a switch where the into her and it flipped. She went back to encouragement. So if you're asking like, okay, like what percentage of Marlena is possessed, we could have that conversation. But I think that it was fully the devil saying yes to Johnny.
It doesn't make sense to me because when she's possessed by the devil, her eyes turn a different color, and her eyes were not a different color. We need some kind of indication, at least to the viewers, that it's actually the devil and not Marlena acting because she's fearing the devil or influencing, being influenced. There's being influenced by the devil, and then there's being possessed by the devil. When possessed by the devil is acting as her. But there's always an indication, like her eyes are a different color. We don't have that yet. So it's like confusing to me when she says yes. It's like, you're right. Marlena would never say yes to that. So why is she saying yes? There's no indication that she's been taken over fully by the devil yet.
Yeah, I think, I don't think she's fully been taken over, but I think I think it's like the numbers game at this point. I think it would be like 80-20 kind of a thing. It's getting there.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to think about. Like, can we ponder though? Say it's not the devil, it's actually Marlena. Do you think this is in any way this is like a cry for help, or this is her trying to like get stuff
somebody
out?
Mentioned that it's like, oh, could this be Marlena trying to
bring attention or something?
Could this be Marlena trying to get people to notice that she's not acting like herself, to clue people into that something's wrong,
like her like fighting back kind of through it or something? Interesting. I
don't know.
But you're right, Marlena would never say yes to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of just a numbers game at this point. It's kind of like the devil slowly inching towards full possession. And it's kind of like every day gets a little bit more up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we think of Chad and Abigail's little reenactment? Did we think that was cute, or
just in time for everything terrible to happen?
I actually like Chad as John. When he said like, "I'll read John Black," I was like, "Oh, is he gonna like?"
He didn't overdo it.
He was gonna I thought he was gonna overdo it and like put on like a thick accent.
It was like a subtle interpretation, so I appreciated that, and it led to them. It kind of led to them, getting back together in some respect. Not fully back together, but she did. It's like, why don't you spend the night in my room? I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. So they're starting to get their mojo back.
In terms of
hopefully it'll continue.
Yeah, in terms of just Chad and Abigail, the progression and how they're getting back together, I actually do like. They're actually communicating very openly. They're talking about their fears. They're talking about their insecurities.
Not rushing into anything.
Yeah, they're not rushing, but the fact that they did sleep together this week, I think, was earned. It wasn't too fast. It was kind of like, okay, we're getting there, kind of a thing.
So now, guys, I have a question, and chat room chime in too. Is Chad out of the movie because he's not John, or do we have another role for him? Because this also goes back to when I was thinking Johnny was going to double cross him. I thought Johnny was, once EJ signed, I thought he was going to say, "I'm making Chad John and I'll make you Stefano," or something. That's where I thought they were going to go.
I actually could
be interesting, because then like maybe EJ could influence, because remember Stefano was the beginning portion of that.
That's true.
So I was like, oh, maybe like he'll try and get EJ to be Stefano.
I'm not interested in seeing Chad as Roman. I actually seeing him play Stefano would be a good 1-2 punch.
Roman wasn't involved in the possession. He was off the canvas. So Roman wouldn't really have a big part.
Okay, I didn't know.
Roman he had left.
Oh, that's right.
He divorced Marlena.
They
did what they did on the
conference room. He left town right after.
And he didn't come back until like a year.
Yeah, because Kristen brought him back. Yeah. That's right. I forgot that. He wasn't around then.
They say Chad can play Father Francis.
Oh no!
put him in a gray wig. Because Father Francis was also a big player in the.
Yeah, right. I know.
He knew that the devil was in town.
Yeah, there weren't many. I guess maybe there isn't a role for Chad.
He could play Curtis Reed. Remember when Ghost Curtis Reed came back with his disgusting teeth?
Ghost Curtis Reed. Oh God.
Yeah, there's some storylines we don't need to revisit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was kind of into the idea of like Chad is John. First, like when he brought it up, I thought he was kind of joking, and then when they kept sort of moving forward with this, I was like, okay, I could kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what
Everyone
it is.
Everyone thinks EJ should be Stefano, Chad should be John. Yeah. Chad can play Bo, but Bo didn't really have a lot to do.
No.
Also, it doesn't like affect. I was thinking more of like affect. How would it affect Marlena? Like he still would get his scenes in or something, but there wasn't really another guy close outside of Father Francis who was like close to. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do Chad as Abe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, Mike
I'm just
Horton. That could be a good one.
Well, do you remember Mike Horton had the apartment next to Marlena's, and Stefano blackmailed him for access?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's how the Queen of the Night thing started.
Yeah, actually, Chad as Mike Horton could be interesting.
Yeah,
because it'll give him
a big role, but
because if they're playing on the whole like the the movie / real life, at least Salem real life, like at least that him as Mike Horton gives him some proximity to Abigail as Marlena at least. Yeah, interesting.
If his next call is to Trip to ask him to have a cameo in some sort, I'm out. I'm so out. It's just
I was thinking
so lazy.
I immediately thought of Trip as Lucas. I just feel like they were gonna go there.
Oh my god, it's so lazy.
Yeah. That's what once he offered Allie, once he offered Sammy to Allie, I was like, oh god, are they going with Trip as
lazy casting, lazy writing, lazy business savvy. I can't.
Mike Horton, yeah. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm getting like Tony. Tony had a bit of a part in it.
As Tony himself said a few weeks ago, that wasn't Tony.
Or Andre, yeah.
It was Andre pretending to be Tony.
Yeah, I know. So he can be Andre pretending to be Tony. whoever it was at the time.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god. We could just have Tony himself actually come in and play both and then just break the fourth wall and say, guys, I signed up for this on purpose. I don't know why.
Oh god, too funny.
Yeah. Okay. So the devil will do what he does, and we'll tune in next week to see if it gets scarier as we approach All Hallows Eve. Next up, we have Ava, Rafe, Gabby, Jake, Philip, Chloe, Brady, Nicole. Okay, let's start with Ava, whose plan has come to the forefront. What do we think about Gabby finally getting her comeuppance and having to make a real choice?
You mean like turning Gabby Chic into Ava Chic? I was like, I get it. Like, you want to stick it to Gabby by taking away her company. But then what? Like, I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It was just like, now you want to be a businesswoman. Ava wants to be a businesswoman? Like, I was just kind of like, okay.
Ava technically, Ava was a businesswoman. She just had a different kind of business going.
For the mob. Yeah.
I mean, it takes some skill to run a mob. I mean,
I mean, from what we know, she and her cousin ran it quite effectively.
Yeah.
So that part doesn't surprise me, but I'm just like, I'm going to be the little kid in the playground. You started it.
I know. I don't feel bad.
Gabby started it.
I really don't. And I like that Philip brought this up to her, but also brought it up to Jake of like I did nothing to you. Like, I'm the one who I was there for Gabby, even when you weren't with her. Like, I was there for Gabby professionally and personally. Like,
one
person, yeah.
The one time that Philip and Ava did absolutely nothing to this woman. They went out of their way to be kind to her, and she still went after them.
Yeah.
She gets what she gets.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't feel,
Yeah, none of us feel.
I'm still not fully invested in that part of things.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see how it's going to shake out. And I mean, is Ava's sort of like, she made a point of like, Gabby can't say anything, but I don't know how that plan's going to go where Gabby just voluntarily gives up Gabby shit. Like, there's no, like you said,
right? Because like Gabby's going to know, like, Rafe's not going to believe that I'm just giving up my company.
Exactly.
And Ava's like, make him believe it.
Yeah.
Like, no, Rafe's not going to. Rafe is pretty, when it comes to his siblings, knows when shit's going on.
Yeah, but
like, he always does.
If it helps, I don't think Ava and Rafe are going to last much longer. If that helps her
Or that could
decision
be the
making.
nail in the coffin of like, their relationship is, is on thin ice as it, or hanging on by a thread as it is. So maybe this would be like the catalyst of like maybe
Yeah.
Rafe breaking things off or going after
I hate
Nicole
to
or like
say it. I hate to say it just because of Ava's history, but Ava's been so good this last year that I'm just like, I kind of don't want her in the Hernandez's orbit anymore because Gabby's been nothing but terrible to her. And Rafe wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, get rid of them both. I kind of think Ava's better than how she's been treated. At least this year she has been.
I kind of like her in the Kyriakis fold. I feel like, remember how when we had Kate sort of move over to the Demiras years ago, and it was like, oh, this is such a good fit for her. This is like where she belongs. I feel like we might get that with Ava. I don't think there's really any. Also, we have like the history of Victor being in the mob too, which I think I forgot who brought that up last week. I don't know if it was Ava or like someone else brought that up last week or maybe this week. So I'm kind of digging the idea of like her with the Kyriakis clan. I don't like when Jake was sort of planting seeds in Philip's head of like, Ava, don't trust Ava, she'll double cross you. And it's kind of like, well, not really. Like, you have double crossed him when he gave you a job. Like, so I hope that doesn't come to fruition. I actually would like to see Ava working under Philip and like her in that camp over there.
I don't think she would work under Philip for that long, truth be told. But I still think she's better than what she's been given in the last few months.
Yeah. It is only
Patrick TV is absolutely right. She's been boring, and now it's kind of like her taking back her power kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. And she doesn't need to be evil. Like you don't need to. Like you can still she can still keep her edge.
She's not even being technically bad in this kind of a thing. She didn't. She wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Something there needs to, some kind of gas needs to be put in Ava's part of the storyline for me to get invested in it. And it's just like she keeps like these same conversations with the same people, and it's like, okay, we need some movement, please. Get her something to do. Get her out of that effing kitchen set.
Yeah.
Every scene of her is in that kitchen set, and it's just like get her out of the house and get her something to do, please. I think that's what I'm frustrated in. There's just no. It's just feels like it's the same scene over and over again, and there's no movement with her.
Yeah, I'm ready to see like career Ava or a businesswoman Ava, and
I wouldn't even at this point. Truly, I wouldn't mind seeing Ava oust Philip because he would deserve it at this point. He doesn't deserve it from Gabby, but he deserves it from Ava. If that makes any sense.
Oh, because they have history, I mean, that at least would make more sense.
Yeah, and just because he's being an absolute idiot right now, and I don't want good things to happen to him. And so moving to Philip, I've had it. I've had it with this man-child. I don't even have the words. Someone from the male perspective go, because I'm really trying not to use my bad words now.
I was kind of rooting for them, Chloe and Philip. I thought let's actually give them a chance on their relationship and see how it goes, because they do have chemistry. There's so much history there. I don't like the fact that like we're seeing now the same scene over and over, especially when Chloe blew up on him and it was nothing. Then to now have the next scene of him walking in on them again and still blowing up. It's like I don't know where they're going. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I was rooting for Chloe and Philip. I don't know where they're going with them. I also don't care about Chloe and Brady now. I did originally when Kristen was in the mix, but now I don't care about them either. So I just like we said before, give them all new people. Like separate all three of them and just
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't take much more of this repetitive these scenes are set up with Chloe and Brady, and then Philip comes in, lashes out. Chloe gets mad, but then eventually, forgives Philip. Then it happens again. Now it looks like she's not going to let it go which is
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just waiting for her to be like, you know what? Neither of y'all. I need to focus on me,
Yeah.
or maybe get myself someone else, and you figure yourselves out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give let Brady and Philip focus. Philip's focus should be on the work maybe, and not Chloe. And then Brady, I don't know what to tell you about Brady.
Yeah.
Brady should focus on those kids.
Yeah.
One of whose mother's on the run, and one of whose mother is took him across the country. I'm still salty about how he did Teresa wrong, but I'm just like,
I feel like
guys,
they really struggle with the
God.
character of Brady. If there isn't a
Yeah.
woman involved, I feel like they need to like shift him a little bit, like bring him into the Marlena stuff or bring him into something else. It's just it's always. I mean, we get it with a lot of characters, but especially with him, if he doesn't have a woman or he's going from he goes literally from woman to woman to woman.
Yes.
I'd like to see them even do some like introspection.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care if he like butted into the Nicole EJ stuff, which we saw. Like, even if that's like, I mean, that's not great either, but
I'm so glad that Nicole called him out.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's like, I'm really going to take relationship advice from you. Really? Really? Yeah. Oh man, I don't even have the words for how just at this point, I think I'm disgusted with the both of them. I really am. Brady for always trying to play the knight in shining armor and try to tell not even just Chloe, but tell everybody else what to do with their relationship when his love life is a shit show. And with Philip for just it's bordering on abusive. I'm going to be honest. It's bordering on abusive because nobody likes to be in a relationship with someone whose first instinct is to throw a punch.
Yeah, right.
It's real. It's not just a turnoff. It's scary. Even if you know the person, it's just like to be stuck in that kind of a relationship is really disturbing. Yeah.
So speaking of, what do you guys continue? What are we thinking of EJ and Nicole, them sort of moving a little bit forward in whatever their situation is? I still don't like it.
I mean, it was made clear this week that Rafe and Nicole are still have a thing for each other. Like, very clear. And so now I just see them, like, if Nicole goes with EJ and Rafe sticks with Ava, it's like, that's not, I don't know. It's not what they want.
Yeah.
They're just trying to avoid each other for whatever reason.
Exactly.
You know what? The one thing I will say about EJ is he calls it like he sees it.
Yeah.
I'll say that. He does not try to play the angel in the story. He has no qualms or there's no confusion about who he is. He knows he is not the good guy. He is not the knight in shining armor in this story. And he called out Rafe pretty accurately for wanting to have it both ways.
The only thing I thought was a little bit manipulative with EJ was when he was like, "Oh, well, use me, like instead of kissing Rafe, kiss me." You know, he's like trying to like be like the friend or supporting conduit. And I was like, "No, you're still dealing with your stuff from Sammy to like talk about like use me." It was like, you guys aren't friends. Like, like I said, I'm not a fan of this pairing. Again,
but I think that is why I'm willing to give it a chance. I think that's why, because they're not friends, because they've done terrible things to each other. I don't think there would be any surprises. There's no miscommunicating what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. In other words, I think Nicole and EJ can be honest with each other in a way that they can't be with other people.
Yeah.
Because there's no love lost there.
I'm curious what Nicole's opinion is going to be about EJ sort of playing John, like however long or deep they delve into this. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, is that gonna be like a red flag for her? Is that gonna?
I think she'll do what she did when they walked into that living room last week and Johnny was talking to Chad. I think she'll call him out on it. And I think, she got to him in that moment. She really, she tuned into something that he wasn't even willing to admit to himself. And I think that's why I potentially like this pairing, is because he didn't, he still snapped at her, but he didn't say that what she was saying wasn't correct.
Yeah.
There's something about, sometimes it just takes the right person saying what you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
No, this week was, what this week was? This week was a lot of people wanting to have their cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of characters,
Agreed.
and you don't get to do that.
You can try, but no.
And okay, before we move on to our tidbits, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of your Dishin Days goodness. As I said before, we are on a Hareld podcast. We are on Apple TV, Apple Podcast, and then please buy our merch on dishindays.threadless.com. We still got merch going into the holiday season, guys. Please buy as much stuff that's made in country as possible, because you don't know if it's actually going to get here in time.
I was going to say, we know it's not on a ship stuck in the ocean.
Exactly.
Yes. It's not off the port right here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And then we actually didn't have a lot of tidbits. We just had a little bit of touching on some kind of good stuff. Paulina, Abe, and Lonnie and Eli celebrating the engagement. It seems like everybody's happy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good solid couple. Nobody's got any complaints yet.
Nope. There's just that one secret.
Yes.
That one little secret looming.
We'll destroy that house as a couple.
Yeah. Kind of like that. It's almost like reminding me of the feeling of Sierra and Ben's first wedding, where it's like tick, 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 and then just like that giant boom that you're waiting for to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get a date conveniently in November, of course. Yeah.
November sweeps, everybody.
Yes.
It's gonna get, which is good, because we love to tune in when things are getting really heavy, and just in time for us to eat some turkey.
And I like that it makes sense especially for an older couple to be like, we have money. There's no reason for us to do a year-long engagement for anything. Let's just sit down with our calendar,
do it,
pick a date, and keep it moving.
Yeah, I actually do like that they pointed that out, that it's like, you know what, we just want to be together. We just want to live. That's something really great to see.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was the week. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the devil's going to take up a lot of air in the room for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now moving right along to our segments. As Tony Moore is not here this week, we do not get his wonderful 3 Snaps award this week, so we will be moving on to Michael Mattis's Caption That.
Caption That. Yes, this week's Caption That photo. Lost my window. Sorry. Okay, this week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of Ben and Sierra. When Ben decides to tell her that he wants to try to make a baby, and this week's caption goes to Kat M on Twitter with, "Babe, let me just pop that pimple on your nose. That whitehead is driving me crazy." And I was like, what? I read that caption and I was like, what is she? Oh, she's definitely in that position, that pimple popping position.
Yeah, right.
I like that. That's cute.
Yeah.
All right, and that was this week's Caption That.
That was unique. It was unique.
I love a good pimple
Listen,
pop.
what else have those two not done in that embrace? I mean, like, you're right. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. And moving on, we have Justin's "Those were the days
She's like
And
Adele over here.
I know, right?
Oh, tell me you didn't listen to her song on repeats.
Oh, as soon as I saw it,
Yeah.
like 3 minutes after it was posted, I was like, oh, gotta listen.
Adele
It
is
didn't
back.
hit quite as hard as Hello hit the first time,
Yeah.
but it's still Adele. She's still amazing.
Yeah, right.
I was
Go
actually
listen to it if you haven't listened to it.
I was actually in London the morning that Hello came out, and it was the only thing that was on the radio on BBC Radio.
Oh yeah, that one hit really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Justin,
Moving
This excitement.
back to the show.
Those were the days. I'm taking you guys back to October 15th, 2004, where we had the engagement of Mickey and Bonnie. And I feel like this was fitting, especially because we've been talking about Bonnie the last few weeks, and especially like delving into her actual real past on the show.
Mhm.
And just with, this just brought up so many memories. I love the character of Bonnie. So like this whole period was so great for me, especially like having Judy Evans play a different character, and that she was genuinely in love with Mickey, and it brought out such a different side to him. This is when she took over I think they got engaged at Alice's, which Bonnie sort of ran, and you guys remember back then Julie was sort of their nemesis because Maggie was still dead at the time before she came back, and it was Julie that was the opposition to them being together, and sort of like trying to sort of keep Maggie's memory alive and kind of keep Bonnie away from him. So I'm just interested. Give us more of this Bonnie,
Vintage
Bonnie that has a past, and like bring that into the forefront moving forward. But once I saw it, I was like,
So Bonnie is basically just hanging in jail right now. On the show.
We didn't get any movement.
We didn't see any of that. Nothing of Justin, Xander, Bonnie. They're just all in jail. Okay. Got it.
So that was this week's. Those were the days, October 15th, 2004, Bonnie and Mickey's engagement.
I miss John Ingalls so much.
No.
I know he only took over the role of Mickey for maybe like a year or two.
He was so great for that aspect of Mickey. That was he was like,
and it was weird to see it.
And like fun Mickey, and like got into like being a cowboy. Like that whole Mickey, that whole part of Mickey was so crazy.
It was kind of weird to see him not be Edward Quartermain because he played Edward Quartermain on General Hospital for decades. So it was it's nice when they cross over, and I miss my people.
That's so much fun with the role.
And so that was this week's. Those were the days. And see, I'm done. Tony can take back over next week. And now it's time for my segment. It's a GIF. So this week's It's a GIF goes to Ben. What you mean short?
What you mean short?
Apparently, there is a part of himself that he actually is proud of, and he wants to let his wife know it.
He's like, Leah, let's not get it twisted. We have no issues there on the baby.
And maybe that explains why Sierra's always trying to get deep down by him.
Yep. So someone was gonna say it eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not use that term around me when we're in bed. Yes.
Well, it's funny because what did she say? Short end of the stick.
Yeah.
And he was like short.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they actually went there. Okay, because that's what I thought in my head too. She said short end of the stick, and I was like, ooh. Then he said it.
We're grown-ups. We can get away with a couple of these lines. It's all right.
Yeah.
And that was this week's It's a GIF.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have a couple of items in our news and gossip. Justin, take it away.
Yeah, we've a few things this week in news. A lot of casting info. You can check out our old friend, Mr. Christopher Sean, who played Paul. Oh God, what was Paul's last name? Anyway, Paul Black. We'll call him Paul Black.
Yeah. What his last name
Paul
should be?
Narita.
Narita.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Paul Narita. You can catch him actually on the new season of You. Streaming on Netflix. I believe it said his parts will be actually recurring, so we'll be recurring, I believe, all season on You. I haven't gotten into You yet, but when this popped up, I was like,
he was also on. He was also on an episode of I think NCIS.
I saw
on Twitter.
I was waiting for that. I missed it. I was waiting for that to like pop up so I can mention it. But But yeah, you can catch Christopher Sean on the new season of You streaming on Netflix currently, so go check it out.
Yeah, and then he's got a couple of voiceover stuff that he's been doing.
Yeah, the voiceover stuff.
Yeah.
He's been
He's
He's been busy.
Yeah, he's been very,
Good for
very
him.
busy. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Much as we
I'd
would
love
love
to
to
have
have
him
him
back
on
in Paul,
days.
but
I know, yeah.
I'd love to have him back. He was definitely a talent, but you know,
Mhm.
he's got to thrive. We got to wish him
Yes.
well.
Yeah. And I love him on everything he's doing so far. Sometimes I don't tune in. Sometimes I question certain choices that they make, but like I loved everything he's been in separate from Days.
Yeah,
He's
he's making great
got
choices.
such range.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have our dear friend Vanessa Williams, who played Valerie Grant. She is joining the Ryan Murphy universe. She did actually earlier this year. She did American Horror Stories of American Horror Story, and now she is joining Ryan Murphy's 911. This is the one with Angela Bassett and Jennifer Love Hewitt. I believe it's on Fox. But yeah, she recurred. She started last week, I believe, last week's episode, and
Yes,
she's
she
going to
did.
recur all through the season. So
It's really good for her to be in Ryan Murphy's
Yes,
orbit
yes.
because
Yes.
you know if he likes you,
Yep.
he'll use you in everything.
yes,
Yes,
and I'm
in
sure the
Sarah
everything.
Paulson,
Great
like
job led over
everything.
this. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
Although
so good for her.
Although if you saw last week's episode, she does not play a nice person.
Yes, she's pretty aggressive, and yes, it'd be interesting.
I
to see
watched.
her.
Speaking of Vanessa Williams, I watched for the first time yesterday the original Candyman,
Oh, really?
Oh!
That was your
Yeah.
first time seeing it.
and
Yeah.
I was like,
She's so
wait,
young in that.
there
Yeah.
she is.
That was like
Yeah.
her second job, I think, or maybe her first job when she got to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it rolled back around again.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah. She was so young in that. So yeah, you can catch Vanessa Williams on 911.
Another one,
There's
I,
one
you know, she's another one. Love to see her back on Days.
I
Didn't
know.
think she really
I
got,
know.
you know, fully explored or whatever.
Yeah,
It's always
they
a pleasure to
didn't.
have her, but at the same time, good to see her
Mhm.
out there thriving.
Yeah.
So
And check out her
That's
Instagram.
pretty
Her Instagram is so much fun. Like Vanessa gets out there, she parties,
oh
she
yeah,
loves to dance. She's always going out and interesting. She's into art and the arts in general. And her Insta, if you haven't checked it out, it's I think it's I am Vanessa Williams. It's
Mhm.
so it's amazing. Go check it out, fans. Go follow her. She takes you on the ride. She has a lot of fun and just introduce you to some interesting stuff. So yeah, check out her Instagram. Last but not least, we had a reunion of sorts for the Johnson family with Mary Beth, Stephen Nichols, and they had lunch with Shelley Henning, of course, who played Stephanie Johnson on the show. And I was thinking like, oh, when did she last appear? She last appeared in 2017 at their wedding when they got her to come, which was such a nice like little surprise and like something, again, we always talk about like having old characters sort of pop in just for special events. But we haven't seen Stephanie Johnson for a little while. But yeah, I think Mary Beth and Steven wanted to do just a reunion. And also they did note they also invited James Lastovic because a lot of people were like, where's
Joey?
James
Where's the rest of the family?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he couldn't make it, so they definitely were not trying to exclude him. Of course, he couldn't make that lunch. There'll probably be something with him in the future, but yeah, to me that was just so lovely to see. Like, and we know like them two they characterized their relationship as like best friends. So I love that they get together. They also work together a lot off of Days and have in the past. I think on GH. Yeah, they were together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see like they also keep like the idea of family going and like meeting up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a very that is a very soap thing that once you're in the soap family, you're in the soap family. And so the kids get together, all the old hangs get together. I think I saw like there was an episode last week of Watch What Happens Live with Andy, and then he had Amber Tamlin who spent 7 years on General Hospital. And, you know, hasn't been on that show in 20 years. And she still says, like, these people are my family. You know, I would go back in a second, you know, if I didn't live in another state kind of thing. And so it's like, that's what soap families are supposed to be. Like, once you're in, and we're going to hang out and we're going to have lunch together. And so Shelley Hennig, actually, I think that would be a perfect time for her to come back. I was thinking
of like even maybe like a retread of her and Philip, maybe, but
just
bringing her back, she was so
I feel like people. I think we've been so ingrained with the Philip and Chloe drama that we forget he had other relationships. And Stephanie was. I don't want to say healthy because I don't think Philip has had very many healthy relationships.
Yeah.
But I think that she was one of the first to kind of put her foot down.
Yeah. And remember, she was also involved with the Parker fraternity. So, like, bringing her back now that Chloe, like, all the people are in the mix would be interesting.
Yeah. Plus, she doesn't really know her half brother. She doesn't really know Trip.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I think would be a great time for her to come back. Hint, hint.
Yeah. Wink, wink. So yeah, it was just lovely to see them sort of get together and reminisce and have fun. Looks like they're just it was like old times again with them. So yeah, it's nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it for news.
That was your news and gossip for this week. Stay tuned for more. All right. So before we head out, let's take a look at the promo for next week's Days of Our Lives.
My wife. She just isn't herself.
Your eyes are so cold.
You don't think Marlena's possessed again, do you? Take the glasses off.
It's time you don't leave well enough alone.
I cannot get enough of Mardevil and Julie. Those have been the highlights for me. It looked like she was like about to mush her face. Like,
it looked like she was about to snatch the wig, is what it looked like.
Well, it looks like Michael Myers, you're getting your wish.
Well, I know. Is she going to be finally fully possessed now, or is it still like? I'm hoping so.
I can't get over it. Those scenes are the highlight for me. Bring them
on.
Just, like Deidre, like we always just say, like Deidre Hall gets that fun when she plays Hattie, but like playing this version of the devil is just, I'm sure she's loving it in a way.
Yeah, and definitely. She does it very subtly. There were little things like that little chuckle that she gave. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm here for
that's
it.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was our episode of Dishin Days. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will check back in with you next week. Before you leave, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're on it right now. Just click the little red button right there. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. Michael Mattis, tell a kind. Oh, that's right. And buy merch. DishinDays.threadless.com. Beach towels, mugs, whatever weather suits your needs. Buy our merch. Yeah.
Yes.
Include it in your holiday shopping, please.
Yes.
Mike Mattis, please tell the kind folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Mr. Justin Hareld, please tell the kind folks where they can find you.
You could find me
platform can they
on my one platform, Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
I wasn't going to shame him, but okay.
But it's tradition. We have to. And you too. What one platform can we find you on?
My one social media platform that I am proud to have is at Tia323 Araceli on Twitter.
Yes.
And there you have it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you back here next week for another episode of Dishin Days.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
A full dish.
Full dish.
Bye.
Full dish.
Bye, guys.
Bye.